I also watched, as I mentioned, Borat. Subsequent movie film actually came out October 23rd, hour and 35 minutes, rated R, adventure comedy. The actual title of the film is Borat, subsequent movie film, delivery of prodigious bribe to American regime for make benefit once glorious nation of Kazakhstan. Sacha Baron Cohen returns as Borat. See, now I'm in my head now about how to say it. Borat. Oh my God, I'm stuck in that same loop. So he's good as always. But I think the main takeaway here is that because of the popularity and success of the first film, that he couldn't really pull off the same kind of film this go around because everyone has seen the first film. So they know who he is and they know him as Borat. So they had to put him in different situations, like as Borat, but like dressed up as someone else. So he's still somewhat talking with that accent, but in like with a completely different look, which, the makeup and effects was, special effects was still good. They still found people who have not seen the first film, which I know is kind of hard to believe, but there's still people out there who have not seen the first film, and he still did a magnificent job. Of course, everyone's hailing so Borat. Basically, the gist is Borat went to jail after the first movie. He was in jail for 14 years, comes back to his homeland, finds out he has a daughter who's now, I guess, 15. Yeah. So it's named Tutar, which means daughter. In what language, I forget. But it's played by Maria Bakalova, who's a Bulgarian actress, and this is her American film debut. She was in another film that is Bulgarian, and when she's speaking throughout the film in a foreign language, she's speaking in Bulgarian, and when Sacha Baron Cohen is speaking as Borat, he's speaking in Hebrew, according to IMDb. And so whenever the Kazakh premier is speaking, he's played by a Romanian actor, and he says his lines in Romanian. And I guess the joke there is that American audiences can't notice a difference in the foreign languages. I didn't. You could have said it was fucking gibberish, and I'd have been like, okay, because Americans are dumb, right? We're fat, lazy, and dumb. That's the joke. So that was one of the bigger takeaways, that Maria Bakalova gives an amazing performance, and I completely, wholeheartedly agree. She was amazing. She was awesome. A little tough to buy her as a 15-year-old. A little tough, especially in certain scenes. I mean, the scene where, it's they go to the bakery and there's like a little plastic baby, and she ends up eating the cake with the baby on it, and so she swallows the baby, and then they go to like a church or something with a pastor, and that scene is like pure comedy gold. That's like perfection, where he's like, I want you to take the baby out of her. There's a baby inside her. I put the baby inside her. And wait, so you are his father? So this is your father? Yes. And this is your daughter? Yes. And he's like, it's my fault. I put the baby inside her, and I need you to get it out. You get the baby out of her. So good. The other big scene that people were talking about was the one with Rudy Giuliani, and people making a big deal out of that. And I was like, all right, I know we like to shit on Rudy. And if you have not watched the SNL, like the Weekend Update performance by Kate McKinnon as Rudy Giuliani, so goddamn hilarious. She's like so perfect as Rudy Giuliani. But this is like, obviously, politicians are going to politic, you know what I'm saying? They're going to politish. And you could tell that he felt a certain way about her, and maybe he did think that he had a chance with her, Tutar, dressed as a reporter. And, but this, like, they shot it a certain way to make it look like he was getting a handy or like something like that. And it's so obvious that that was not the case. Like, just use your brain and watch it. But it was clever social media marketing, guerrilla marketing on someone's part, because it was like, here, have this random person like post a picture of Rudy Giuliani laying on his back, like with his hands down his pants, and there's a beautiful woman in the shot with her back to the camera. Boom. Get people talking about it. Oh my God, I can't believe Rudy did that. And it's like more people watch it. So kudos for pulling that off. It worked. But you watch the movie and you're like, oh no, obviously they took off whatever he was wearing to record, and then he was tucking in his shirt. Was he tucking in his shirt very weirdly? Yes, 1,000%. But they made it look like she's like tugging away at his Johnson or his junk there. And it's like, no, she's just taking off the recording equipment. Mike Pence is also in this as well. What's crazy about this is like they started filming in late 2019 and into the summer of 2020. So they were like, did not shut down production for COVID. And they just went head first into this COVID thing. And the shit that they did during COVID, whew, very interesting. Sacha Baron Cohen sat nearly 5 hours in a toilet stall at the 2020 CPAC, Conservative Political Action Conference, until VP Mike Pence was about to appear on stage. He also spent 5 whole days with pro-conservatives Jerry Holleman and Jim Russell without breaking character as Borat. In the midst of COVID. COVID. The babysitter, professional babysitter, quote unquote, Jeanise Jones, who gave such a great performance, and it's not a performance, she was being herself. She was paid $3,600 to appear in the movie, but was under the impression that it was a serious documentary and had no idea that Sacha Baron Cohen and Maria Bakalova were playing made-up characters. So this is where it's weird. She later praised the performance of Bakalova and admitted she had her fooled, but then the New York Post reported that she was like pissed off. And it's like, I would be kind of pissed off too, man. You have these people saying it's a serious documentary. You're getting paid $3,600. The movie blows up. You are a major part of that movie blowing up when you kind of like want more money. I don't know. Like I don't want to say she made the movie, but she was like so awesome in the movie. Yeah. You wonder like, how can the people who made those swim trunks, $300, live with themselves? How can Sacha Baron Cohen and this production company, the creators, live with themselves knowing they paid this woman $3,600 to appear in a movie in which she had a major role? I don't know. I feel like they should do more for her, but it's just me. She had some pretty sage advice too. I mean, the whole sequence where like Maria Bakalova as Tutar is talking about the book that her father gave her about how she can't touch herself because her vagina will eat her and it will eat her and consume her, like literally pull her into herself. And then Jeanise Jones trying to explain that she like, yeah, I touched myself. And I've never had that happen. It's like, oh, so good. Although Borat was shown putting on his Donald Trump disguise, the part was shot after the 2020 CPAC, as Sacha Baron Cohen actually wore the makeup and costume underneath the Klan robe before interrupting Mike Pence. I tell you, man, the shit. It's just like I would never be able to pull off any of this. I would never have the balls on this guy. The original title of the movie was Borat, Gift of Pornographic Monkey to Vice Premier Mike Pence to make benefit recently diminished nation of Kazakhstan. According to Sacha Baron Cohen, while filming at the rally in Olympia, the militia on site had been antagonizing Black Lives Matters protesters nearby. The group sent home protesters in undercover and were the first to realize that it was Cohen on stage as Country Steve. Word got out to the crowd and they attempted to storm the stage. According to Cohen, one person had even reached for their handgun. Since Cohen hired the security, he was safely able to get off stage with ample time before the crowd stormed the stage. In a clip Cohen shared online, the crowd had even found and were approaching the production vehicle he hid in. Dude, you know, it's like, no thanks. I don't want to even get near that shit. Send me as far away as possible. Another great scene was the one in the synagogue where Sacha Baron Cohen believes that I don't want to spoil anything, but that scene in the synagogue was pretty damn good. And the woman, Judith, who was very receptive and warm and kind, she actually died shortly after filming, which really sucks. But Sacha Baron Cohen was like, he felt pretty bad, so he let her know about the joke after filming it. But it was pretty, like, she handled it very well. Like, for what he was doing, for what he was dressed as, for the shit he was saying, like, she handled it very well. I guess once you've been in the Holocaust, you're like, if you're a Holocaust survivor, you're like, you can pretty much handle anything else. It's like 2020 is a walk in the park for a Holocaust survivor. But this is the kicker. Sacha Baron Cohen genuinely felt that he was risking his life making this film, unlike the first Borat film in which he was famously arrested nearly 100 times during production. I mean, after 3 times, I'd be like, do we really need to make this movie? I don't know if I want to do this anymore. Cohen was facing arguably more dangerous situations through the COVID-19 pandemic and various political protests, rallies, and riots. He even said there were 2 separate occasions in which he had to wear a bulletproof vest. Damn. Yeah. I mean, yeah, he deserves an award for that, I think. And I didn't catch this when I was watching it because I was a couple cocktails deep. But Borat confirms that the Kazakhstan now exports teen boys instead of teen girls. A box shown crammed with boys in tuxedos is addressed to K. Spacey in the U.S. Oh boy, which is doubly funny or poetic or fitting, because one of the previous scenes when Borat returns and he's like, I'm so sorry that I did not complete the mission. You know, if you want to kill me now, I understand. And then the Kazakh premier is like, no, it's okay. You're forgiven. And Borat's like, what? And he looks around and it's like basically the same exact scene as the final scene in The Usual Suspects, played by Kevin Spacey. So it's like, it's almost like they thought that was a cool scene, but they were like, oh shit, are we like giving props to Kevin Spacey, like a known pedophile? And like, here's how we get back. Here's how we let people know that we're like, okay, we paid tribute, but now it's like, here's the, I don't know. Those are two closely tied together. So that's Borat, subsequent Moviefilm. Wow, wee wah. So I'm going to bring that back. Wow, wee wah. Definitely for sure bringing that back. Just like the slingshot bikini thing as a mask. So good. But can you imagine, like, you're in the middle of producing that film and to be able to pivot and also to continue to make the movie while this COVID shit's happening, and then to come away with it with no significant like damage or anything. Like, I guess extremely fortunate and lucky. So many things could have gone awry there, and they managed to come out of it unscathed.